This intro bit's not scripted. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the world's pretty screwed up right now. There's a lot of things going on that's stressing everybody out, and there's just a lot of anxiety in the world right now. All I can do is make my videos and hope that you guys can find some enjoyment in the topics that I talk about, and I'm not really qualified to talk about the things going on in the world at the moment. So I just hope that touching on some familiar topics like gaming and just how I feel about things helps to make your day a little brighter, and I just hope that my videos and everyone else on the channel helps you get through your day. So that's all I have to say, and here's the intro. This video is sponsored by the coldest water. Honestly, with the pandemic and me personally making the attempt to be healthier, having a bottle of water this size has really helped me to start drinking more water as opposed to soda. I've made it my personal goal to drink at least one full bottle a day, and it's honestly helped me cut down on tossing out water bottles every day at my morning job. It's really great having my drink cold throughout my whole work shift and my ice being completely unmelted. Not to mention it keeps your drinks cold for up to 36 hours, which really helps for this blazing hot summer. It also gives me that comfort knowing that I have the insurance of not only keeping my drink cold in the summer, but keeping my drink hot in the wintertime when I sit back and relax with some hot chocolate. For up to 12 hours if I'm an overachiever. Not to mention this is one of the first bottles I've owned like this that has a straw, so that's an added bonus for gas mask wearing nerds like me. Links are in the description and the comment section for those of you who want to check it out too. So lately I've kind of been turned off by playing newer games or games that I used to find enjoyment in. Warframe being the prime culprit of games I just don't want to play anymore because of the devs mismanaging the experience or just outright lying to the community. To be completely honest, I'm just not optimistic anymore about certain things in the gaming industry. Whether this be Nintendo selling years-old game remasters for full price, doing limited runs, to Call of Duty becoming basically a corporate game franchise, not that it already wasn't one, but it's honestly really saddening to see long-running franchises like COD turn into an absolute mess of features and annual releases that kind of take away the impact of each game. You kind of just roll your eyes and expect there to be a new game every single year, and wonder, what did they do this time? It sucks when a game franchise stops being about the fans and the passion of working on it, making it just really fun to experience, to making it a money sink and give you the most bland and featureless experience possible. It sucks because I remember when the first game in the series came out, and it felt more akin to a Medal of Honor sequel than the generic first-person game that it is today. Not to mention some of the original devs of one of my favorite games of all time, Medal of Honor Allied Assault, left to go form Infinity Ward, and then they worked on the first COD game. Companies like EA and Activision and Ubisoft essentially have trivialized these experiences into annual expectations rather than something to be excited or abuzz about. COD in space, COD in World War II, COD in the future, it's all been done, and really the only thing that they haven't done to my knowledge is World War I, because I think Battlefield beat them to that punch. And even then, I doubt there would be much more they could do after that. Also, for the love of God, they can't just sit here and expect me to pay full price for a game that came out almost 10 years ago. You're out of your f***ing mind, Activision. You guys have Battle.net, and all of your COD games are exclusive to that platform. The least you could do is discount the old games for your Steam users. But again, COD is a money sink for corporate Activision, and the passion for the series and the heart that it used to have is dead, buried, and long forgotten by the sands of time. I'm not going to sit here and deny that it's the best-selling FPS franchise, and the fact that people just love Warzone. But overall, it's just lost the excitement it had back when I was in middle and high school when Modern Warfare 2, World at War, and Call of Duty Black Ops first came out. As for other games, not even the open world genre is safe from this kind of oversaturation. Taylor and I have had many discussions how Ubisoft has basically killed the open world genre by rehashing the same empty experiences or reusing the same map over and over again, like with Far Cry 4 and Far Cry Primal to Far Cry 5 and Far Cry New Dawn. They're another example of early 2000s game franchises being turned into corporate messes. Now, don't get me wrong, there are still some really great open world games that have come out recently, like Breath of the Wild, Ghost of Tsushima, and Death Stranding, and even though it's pretty much a walking simulator, the environments of that game are beautiful, and you can't deny that it's a really amazing cinematic experience. but Ghost of Tsushima is exclusive to the PS4 and PS5, and therefore it limits its audience, making it more difficult for people like me who just have a PC and my Nintendo Switch to actually enjoy it. Lately, it's just been hard to get excited about new things coming out because certain new games in a long-running series become an expectation instead of speculation. You absolutely know that a new COD game is coming out every year, as well as a Far Cry game or something similar. It really dampens the effect that these announcements have on you, unless you're a super fan of each respective series. Sure, if you enjoy them, the more power to you as an individual. I'm not trashing on you for enjoying what you do, because if it makes you happy, then that's the best thing in the world, and you have my full support. What I'm saying is that for me, it's hard to be excited for things when E3 just becomes more and more lackluster each year with basically no groundbreaking announcements, and personally the overabundance of indie games being showcased by Xbox and Nintendo. Don't get me wrong, I love indie games like Hollow Knight, but when your press conference is primarily indies instead of your first party titles, then it just becomes boring after a while, and I just stop watching. Nintendo is very much a culprit of doing this by having all these indie showcases and not showing much of anything on franchises that we care about like Zelda or Metroid. I've essentially just stopped caring about E3 and stopped watching it because it just doesn't give me the same level of excitement it did when I was young. My first one was back in 2008, and that's also the first year I watched Comic-Con, and I've watched it every year since, and I just don't think it's really had much of an impact on me since before 2015. Don't even get me started on the PC gaming show with its extremely cringy and honestly condescending skits. Maybe I'm just being a pessimist. You could definitely make an argument for that. But for me personally, it just sucks that the excitement for newer game announcements, or just new games in general, are being turned into a corporate milk farm. Instead of seeing us as a community, we're just being seen as consumers or numbers on a graph. COD has basically become the Simpsons of the gaming world, where it will never end and consistently be milked until it's done literally everything that's possible, even though it kind of already has. I mean, they're already treading on old ground by doing World War II over and over again. I'm not gonna lie, I've been enjoying some newer games like Resident Evil Village, and of course Devil May Cry 5, which I'm gonna post my thoughts on Resident Evil Village in a future video. I've already recorded the entire thing, but it's a bit long, so I still need time to work on it. But overall, I've kind of went back to my late 2000s and early 2010s gaming preferences by playing things like Halo, Fallout, and RuneScape. Because at the very least, I know what I'm in for when I play these games. Honestly, if you all have things you've been enjoying, let me know in the comments and I'll check them out, because I want to see what's making all of you happy in the gaming world, and maybe I'll try something that I never would have thought to look at before. Thanks for watching and listening to my rant, everybody, and I'll see you again soon.